Right then, my friend, I've been in Thailand 2 weeks now, and there's a little topic I want to talk about today. It's been up front of my mind over the last couple of days because the holiday effect is wearing off. It is now becoming my environment, it's now becoming where I live, and it's becoming more and more real. But what a better place to talk to you than Jomtien Beach. Just found a nice little spot on my own. I actually found myself getting a bit camera shy as well, so I found a little corner I can hide in. But I'll eventually get up and start walking because I'm riddled with autism and ADHD. But the topic I want to talk about today is, so for years, I was living a life that wasn't mine and I just didn't know it. Now, I'll elaborate. We all inherit the 9 to 5. We all inherit, well, it's what your parents did, it's what your mates are doing, it's what everybody does. And yet nobody's like truly content. You get the odd person, don't get me wrong, who is genuinely happy with the 9 to 5 and like they found that inner peace by just having a singular job all their life, or, you know, a singular career. And you know what, credit to those people because they've found happiness. I would never judge somebody for that. Speaking for the majority of us, right, we're not happy. And it's a bit crazy to think at 24 I figured this out, that this could be my life. I figured out that we should not just get to live for the weekend. We should not just get our free time at the weekend. I feel like every day you should have some sort of, you know, new experience, new interaction, something that it's new to your palate of experience, like tasting that new food for the first time, something like that. And I've now got that all the time here because there's many things that I haven't tried in Thailand. I've gone down the holiday route and gone out, got on benders and stuff, and yeah, it's fun, but it's not sustainable. So I've got loads of new experiences to have, like living here. And this might not be my forever location, but it's my location right now. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if I hadn't have recognised the fact that we were living Groundhog Day every day. And the fact that everybody lives Groundhog Day every day, or most people do. Most of us are trapped in the system, well I was, and now I'm out of it, of working 40 hours a week, enjoying only your weekends, having a set amount of holidays per year to actually fucking enjoy yourself. Now, I think we all just fall into this naturally because it's what everybody else does. Like, I finished college, I want to be a joiner because it was going to be the best money. Why do we want money? So we can go and explore, so we can see new things, see new people. But what they don't tell you in college and in school is you will sacrifice almost all of your time, all of your energy, all of your stress. You will sacrifice it all in this job that you are working so hard in to get money, to go and finally live a good life when you're what, 65? Enough of the rambling about what it is, the problem. I'm going to tell you the moment I realised, and I've been thinking about this for the past few days. The moment of realisation for me was actually the most strange, to be honest. So I worked in the same factory for 6 years, or 5 years, 6 years, since 17, right? So from 17 to 23, I worked in the same factory, 5 minutes from my doorstep. I've been around these people for 5-6 years. I'd worked my way up in this job, right? Went from like £8 an hour all the way up to £20 an hour over the course of 5 years, obviously. But my moment of realisation was actually not when I started trading in 2023, because I thought that I was going to be able to juggle both. I thought I was going to be able to have it as my side hustle, gonna like earn a nice bit of crack, still get me 9 to 5 on go, and you know, I didn't think I'd want this sort of life, right? The moment of realisation for me was more when I changed factories, right? Changed factories for more money. I ended up changing for like £27 an hour, £30 an hour. I thought that'd make me happy. I thought that would solve the problem that I were having. I had this like nagging in my head, thinking I needed to get out of there. And that were right, but I just swapped it for a different factory. And I actually had to think about this for a few days, but that was my realisation. The novelty wore off so fast. so fast. I got there and I was on more money, I was happier, we were getting some like decent finishes, so I was feeling that little bit of freedom. And then guess what happened? The colours finally shown. We were working 40 to 50 hours a week, and the money was obviously more, but the thing that was in my brain all the time, every single morning when I woke up, was I've had 5 or 6 hours sleep. I am now going to work 10 hours per day, 11 hours per day. I'm going to be out of the house for 12 to 13 hours a day. So then when I finally get home and I want to go gym and I want to train jiu-jitsu and I want to like lock in with my trading, well, guess what? I was finishing at market open. I was not locking in with trading. I was actually more stressed, getting on the charts, making worse decisions, blowing more accounts. And then I was going to training pissed off. And then I had no time for relationships, relatively no time for myself, because guess what? By the time I got chilled out, it was time for fucking bed again. Guess why? Because I had to go to work the next day, wake up at 2:30 AM. So, as you can imagine, the realization came very fast when I changed factories. The more time I spent working there, the more intense that pain got. And the funny thing is how this timing works is I travelled here in January, I did 2 weeks with my friends and a week alone, and then I got back I thinking I was going to be mentally recharged. I thought I was going to be ready, you know, get back to work, earn some money. Mate, I hated it even more because I saw what my life could be like, and I told myself I was going to be out here in 6 months, and guess what? I'm here. And not only that, when I got back home, I've lived this life already, and I'd been following closely people online who've done exactly what I've done now, you know, saved up enough money, left England, gone to Thailand, gone to Bali, gone to Australia, anywhere. And even if they failed, even if it didn't work out, they still had a blast and they still had a good time, and guess what? They still learned some lessons. And for me, that was the biggest turn on ever. I was horny watching that stuff, because imagine if you got it in your head that there's no risk. Imagine if there was no risk in your head. Why do you not go about things like there's no risk? Because what is the risk in me saving up, leaving a job that I hate, to come here and at least come here and fail, and at least have to go back home with my tail between my legs and know that it wasn't for me, or know what I need to do better next time because I'd failed so fucking hard? What is the risk? And that was the turning point. That was the moment where I actually decided, fuck this, I'm doing it. I said, I'm gonna have my knee surgery and I am not going back. Everybody at work said, nah, you'll be back. You can't fucking do it. And you know what? That's fine. I forgive every single one of them people, but guess fucking what, mate? I did it. That's not me being egotistical. That is me just saying that that was my moment. That was the moment where I knew I was not going back. I've seen so many people do it and succeed, and I thought, I'm a fucking hopeless optimistic, me. I will go out there and I will have no perception of failure in my head. I'll plan. I will plan accordingly. I'm a good planner. I will plan everything down to the T. But I'll also be flexible enough to realise that not every single thing goes to plan. And you know what? When things go wrong, I find happiness in it. And touch wood, nothing's gone wrong yet. But guess what? If it does, bring it on, mate. But that was my realisation moment. So now I'm going to tell you exactly what it feels like. Because like I said, I've been here for 2 weeks, right? It's weird. That is only because of the contrast, right? That is only because of the difference. That is only because of where I have come from. I have come from constant modern slavery, 40 to 50 hours a week, working for somebody else that I didn't really respect that much. I didn't want to be like them. And they didn't even want to be like them, but they were stuck in their ways. So coming from that to now being my own boss, running my own business and trading as well, the difference is it's night and day. Being able to wake up whenever I want, come and have a stroll on the beach just randomly because I can. It's weird having like almost no rules, and I've still got to be careful with this because it's very easy to fall off because the temptations are very, very high. Like, you have got a lot of things that can throw you off. And I've been really, really good. I've been really, really disciplined. I've still got my work done. I've still got my content out. But it's night and day. The difference is amazing, but it can be a double-edged sword. It wasn't just quitting my job, it was quitting my job and being able to actually build my own life from scratch. I knew I had this vision in my mind a long time ago. Like, I manifested this shit. Like, I wanted to be out here, I wanted to be in my tropical climate, I wanted to be getting a tan every day, I wanted to be like spending £2 or £3 on a meal, going gym every day. I wanted all this. So this is exactly what I'm doing, but to actually go and do it's crazy. You can think about it all you want. It's when you execute and you actually do it. It's a level of pride that I can't explain to you until you've done it. Like being in charge of your location, being in charge of what you do for work, being in charge of when you go somewhere, who you do it with, completely like in control of your own life and not being told what to do and not having to ask for permission to go for a fucking shit is like the best thing ever. I can do what I want when I want. For 7 years I didn't have that freedom, and now here we are, 2 weeks in. And I think the sad truth about this is most people are living this life not because they've chose it, but like because like the parents have or the friends have and everyone else is doing it and they're just being like sheep. And that is all well and true. It's good to go through that. When you finally turn it all around, it's even more powerful, especially if you've come from rags to riches, right? But most people don't even stop and question it. Most people just do what they're told, do it when they're told to. They say jump, you say how high. They're getting married at 21 and having shitload of babies and that. And don't get me wrong, if that makes you happy, then go ahead. But you see the statistics of people who are unhappy in their 30s, in their 40s, it's because they settled down too fucking quick and they didn't do enough with their life. And they stay with the same person 10 to 15 years, they stay in the same job 10 to 15 years, boom, what do they have? Midlife crisis. What do they do? End up cheating. What do they end up doing? Wanting to do more with their life. They have this epiphany at 40 years old. They're old, stressed, they've got no hair, and they've got kids that they need to feed. And you know, it just seems like they're choosing life on hard mode. I'm gonna reverse engineer all that and you'll see it here in real time. 24, living the high life, figuring out what it is I want, chasing my purpose, right? And I am unapologetic. If that stuff offends any of you, good, it means it's true. To wrap things up anyway, the most empowering moment was not landing here, not paying my rent off for 6 months, not doing any of that stuff. The most empowering moment was when I started to question, why is my life not mine to design? Why is my life not mine to decide what I can do with it? So I'll leave you with that one anyway, because I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. But cheers for listening, my friend, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace and love, motherfucker.